Mike, check. Justin Hunt. It's all happening. Thank you to everybody rocking with the channel. Thank you to everybody subscribed to the channel. Everyone who's shared a video, shared what we're doing over here. It's priceless. Big thank you to everyone who's donated. If you'd like to donate, you can hit the Cash App. It's right up there. Or you can hit the link in the description. And big thank you to all my newest members. Imperfectly Ash, Alejandro Tiburcio, Waterhouse Whistler, Athena, Rodija, Laura Approved, Don Lon, 9-second applause. Thank you. Big stories today. A lot of stories today, big stories today. Let's jump right into it. So on January 3rd, I believe maybe 2nd, but definitely by January 3rd, Drake released Fighting Irish Freestyle. Fighting Irish Freestyle. Now, this looks like it was recorded a while ago. He still had braids back then. But we reacted to that song on this channel. You know, I described it as victimhood manosphere rap. To me, that's what it sounds like. But the series of events that have followed the release of that song are striking to me. A lot of ironies, I guess, a lot of foreshadowing, or perhaps a lot of people reacting to that song and deciding to do certain things. But let's take a look at this. We'll start with some of the rhymes that are in this song. Okay, so we'll start here. Here's one of the lines in here. All that brother talk as if I really discovered a sibling. 6 degrees, my memories retrieving our humble beginnings. Niggas wanted trouble, grabbed the shovel and dug up some ditches. Covered my body in dirt, but that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was a body double, and we've done dozens of switches. Now, it's essentially been confirmed that this song is about LeBron James, obviously Fighting Irish Freestyle. That's LeBron James's high school. But what stands out to me is this part where he says, all that brother talk as if I really discovered a sibling. Okay, now there's 2 sibling references in this track. The second one is, my dad has another child, and I told him that wasn't my sister. Now, I was like, why would he even do that? What did the sister do to him? Perhaps he's joking. You know, I think looking back at this track, there's a couple of things in here I think might actually be jokes. I think that someone pointed out in the comment section, one of the analysts pointed this out, and I think it's pretty apt to think about this as a joke, right? But, you know, Drake's ability to communicate is so downgraded at this point in time that we can't tell what's going on with homeboy. We really just can't tell, right? Like that one. The other line that feels like it's probably a joke is where he says, I don't have a drinking problem, I got a subtle addiction. I think maybe that's a Family Guy quote, perhaps. But nevertheless, there's 2 sibling references in this song. The day after this song leaks, the day after Conductor Williams leaks this song, there was a rumor that Dennis Graham had a granddaughter. This post showed up, and it is a picture of a young girl who looks just like Adonis that says, my beautiful granddaughter. My beautiful granddaughter. So one of these side missions, here's another side mission. This post was made in 2014, and a lot of people thought that this was perhaps confirmation that Drake did have a daughter, right? So it's crazy to hear him rap about having a sibling, and then there's a post from 2014 of Dennis Graham saying that this is his daughter, right? Like, just the irony of those 2 things happening back to back is kind of weird. This is one of the reasons I didn't cover it initially, right? Well, it turns out that if you see this community post here, Dennis said many times the granddaughter mentioned is his daughter's daughter, not Drake's. Daughter's not Drake, right? So nevertheless, Drake is rapping about siblings, discovering his siblings and saying, that's not my sister. And then the next day, here's a discussion that shows up online around this. So that part was really weird. Right? So, so we go back to the bars. And we look at the LeBron bars again. That was a body double, and we've done dozens of switches, right? That was a body double, and we've done dozens of switches. So in the days after that, there's a crazy story with a guy named Chris Blake Griffith. Okay, Chris Blake Griffith. And as I understand it, he is a stylist, a designer. He helped put the OVO owl on Gervonta Davis's shorts when he was boxing. I believe it was the opening card to McGregor Mayweather, if I'm not mistaken. He got into a disagreement with Drake, who he says he's been riding for a long time. Says he's been riding with Drake for a long time. And that disagreement stems over Stephon Diggs, who Chris Blake Griffith was also working with. Stephon Diggs is an NFL football player. Stephon Diggs apparently propositioned him, and he wasn't a fan of that type of approach. Okay. And that turned into a whole thing. Once Chris Blake Griffith, as I understand it, turned down Stephon Diggs, one of Diggs's brothers and a few other people accosted Chris Blake Griffith. This story was all on TMZ. Here's a headline here. May 29, 2023, Chris Blake Griffith was attacked and robbed by Stephon Diggs' brother, Derez, and two friends. Here's a video of what this looked like. So here is the altercation. We'll play a few minutes of it, but you can see this is Chris Blake Griffith in the elevator. Here are the guys coming into the elevator. That's Derez. This was posted by TMZ. And here they go, robbing him. And here's another angle. They're waiting outside of his apartment. The elevator opens right here. Chris Blake Griffith comes out, sees the guys, tries to sneak back into the elevator. And then they catch him. Right. So this happened in 2023. And based on his relationship with Drake, Chris reaches out to Drake for help. Now, all of this happened a long time ago, but Chris Blake Griffith leaks the DM conversation that he had with Drake. Okay, so here are the DMs. Here's the DM. Telling me I look crazy while you sue a power structure for doing for someone else what they've done for you for 15 years is egotistical and delusional. Filing a defamation suit for bars during a rap battle is the most Karen-ish I've ever seen in my life, and I still stood with you. Goat been rich for too long. I got him detached. Okay, so this is what Chris Blake Griffith posted here. Now, this is a DM to Drake. Essentially, what Chris Blake Griffith is doing is asking Drake to help him in this situation. Drake turns him down and says, I mean, I don't know no details, fam. I'm just showing you outside perception. I think there's better ways to go about it, is my opinion. Me and Universal is like if Nike was funding a campaign about LeBron cheating on his wife. Not Adidas or Reebok. Nike, the company he been with since he started. My situation is not no street-ish. Everybody before me that tried the label was too eccentric, so they wrote them off as crazy, and they never had to pay for their sins and mistakes. I'm going to change that and make the building a safer place for every artist moving forward. Your ish is personal and involves violence, and I just think the way you're doing it makes you look crazy. That's my opinion, and you don't need to listen to it. I just think if all you are saying is true, there's better ways to handle it other than dropping a tape. Okay. So if you're trying to keep up, it's not you. It's a very convoluted situation. Drake raps about a brand new sibling that leaks. Looks like that's been debunked. He also raps about, it alludes to this song being about LeBron James. And the day after or 2 days after the song drops, here's someone leaking a DM with Drake talking about LeBron cheating on his wife. The song said they've done dozens of switches. And here it looks like there's another text reference, a DM reference to LeBron and infidelity. This is a wild series of events already. Already it's a wild series of events, right? So after Chris Blake Griffith drops that, That leaks. And all the blogs post it. All the blogs are like, yo, here's Drake talking about LeBron and also talking about UMG. Truthfully, this is the first time that we've heard Drake make direct reference to the legal filings that he levied against iHeart, Spotify, UMG in the aftermath of his Shakespeare and Shakedown. So everyone's posting this. And then Academic shows up and says, this is a fake DM. Drake called Buddy a rat. He got mad and made up some fake DM to try to make the blogs go viral. End of story. Source the boy. Source the boy. So Academics is saying that he talked to Drake directly, and Drake said that these are fake DMs. Fake DMs, okay. Generally speaking, you know, maybe that's the end of the story. Now, I don't know how much credibility Drake necessarily has when he says something. You know, all I hear in my head is, you lied. You lied. 1 second applause to meet the Grabs. So, is that, generally speaking, presumably that would be the end of the story. But Blake Griffith didn't back down. He didn't back down at all. Okay, so here's a headline from Hot New Hip Hop. Blake Griffith claims to DJ Academics that Drake lied to him about the alleged leak. So Blake Griffith calls up to Academics. They're talking on live. And here's what Blake Griffith says.
Don't listen, Holmes. Don't let them lie to you like that. You a credible source. You the heartbeat to the industry. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Your whole brand is built on credibility. You
right.
Gotta tell the truth. You gotta deliver the truth. So when Holmes get in a bind and he lean on you to deliver a lie, you put everything in skepticism. I'm an advocate for the boy the same way you an advocate for the boy, and long standing. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
We got real history, me and Holmes.
Okay.
I know you got questions for me and whatnot. I just want to preface with the fact that I'm not no fly-by-night nigga, Holmes. I ain't just jump out of nowhere. I'm calculated in my stance. I was working on a mixtape, and I sent it. It's called Chris Blake the Mixtape. It's available everywhere right now. My Instagram is Chris Blake Griffith.
Shameless plug.
Chris Blake the Mixtape. I'm working on it, and I sent him the SoundCloud link before it even went up. It's chilling. He and I, every now and again, we're chatting in DM, so on and so forth. I can prove it, bro. Like, this ain't nothing to talk about. Are you from Jersey or New York or whatever? I'm from Baltimore. If I was home, I'd just ride down the street. I could show you. Why would I lie to you? But anyways, back to and he didn't even say nothing OD for me to. Why would I create DMs calling myself a rat?
Somebody who's asking me, it does put me in a bind and a pickle, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Normally, when I speak to Drake and I ask him a question, and a direct question, if he doesn't answer, he don't answer. But if he does answer, I do expect that, you know. And by the way, I'll even volunteer something else. Where maybe like a month or two ago, and I forgot the back and forth, but I was just like, you know, I think he had said something that ended up being true. And I was just like, yeah, like, I'm glad you tell me the truth. And he was just like, he's like, bro, have I ever lied to you? And I was like, I don't know. And I said, I don't know. And he was just like, when? And I couldn't point to something. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is
the first.
Maybe,
it's the
who
first.
knows?
Me as a historian of the boy, from Room for Improvement to Comeback Season to the script, bro. We can list them all the way down. It's the first time I ever seen Dog come out and publicly lie. And I honestly am like, why would you even do that? That, like, piqued my antennas even more. You didn't even have to. I don't even feel like you said no OD shit, bro. I don't, honestly. You can clean that up easy. Maybe I'm doing the wrong thing for a living. Because that's a PR, that's a PR sweep. Easy money. Hypothetical conversation. I was betrayed by somebody who I was close enough to have a personal conversation that was taken public out of contact. Be careful with who you trust. That's how you could have spun it. Don't say you lied.
By the way, I agree with both of that. And I will say, I think what happened is that there was twofold. The LeBron conversation and the whole thing about he hasn't spoken on the lawsuit. So, like, both things were like, oh, wow, this is hot off the presses now?
Exactly, right. So that makes sense to me. One, I don't necessarily think that Drake is the most honest person. That's just my feeling based on a lot of things that have transpired over the past 15 years. I'm not saying that he's an outright liar, but he definitely seems like someone who will spin a narrative. Okay. And here is Blake Griffith, who has a DM referencing both the lawsuit and LeBron 2 days after Fighting Irish Freestyle drops. Okay. So now everything's going crazy. Now everything is going crazy. To be fair, I can't confirm either side of this. It looks like Blake Griffith is telling the truth because later on, Blake Griffith actually shares a screen recording of all the DMs that they've had. It looks like he's being honest and telling the truth, but nevertheless, this is what's happening. Okay. Now, that is LeBron James, Blake Griffith, and UMG, the DMs. All of this has happened since Fighting Irish Freestyle, by the way. Then on that same stream, Academics goes on a rant confirming that Drake and LeBron James have been, just like Drake says in the song, dozens of switches. Out here saying LeBron James is cheating on his wife, who he's been with since high school. Let's take a listen. This is pretty ridiculous.
Newsflash for LeBron. Yo, LeBron, I talked to enough whores in Canada. I've talked to enough people. Maybe Drake will keep teasing it. Let me just tell you what I've heard. Yo, LeBron, you and Drake used to go on two-mans, okay? You've been cheating on your goddamn wife. Drake used to facilitate the host, and basically, essentially, you can't dance to a song about. He used to supply you with the bitches. I'm sorry, my nigga. Yes, if I'm Drake, I snitch on you too. Sorry, buddy. You can't do that. No. You've been living a lie, and everybody been thinking you're this perfect guy, but when you come to Canada, I know some of the whores. When you come to Canada, you know you come to certain places. I'm supplying you with the white women you love. You don't even like black chicks. White women. I'm the guy. So when I bring the tings, and I'm hooking you up, when Kendrick drops a song saying certified lover boy, certified, the first one should say, whoa, me and Drake done did some two-mans. He ain't never bring no underage girl. What are you talking about? Or how about you shut the and don't dance, don't crip walk, don't do nothing, and how about you go win some championships? I'm sorry. I'm snitching on you. That's why you in trouble, LeBron. You can't dance to a song about me being. We went on two-mans.
I mean, okay, so Drake raps about LeBron, says they've done dozens of switches. Academic confirms that that's about LeBron and running two-mans. Blake Griffith leaks DMs that mention LeBron and also the legal action. This is nuts, okay? Now, there's a lot of problems with what Academic said, in my opinion. One, it's like, I'm not sure you helping Drake at all. We've talked about the number of side missions that this battle has levied. How Kendrick's strategy has had a population of people who legitimately believe the embassy is about to get raided. Okay. Those allegations are all over Meet the Grams. And what Academic said kind of sounds like that. Kind of sounds like what Meet the Grams is saying. I'm not sure this is the defense that Academics or Drake really think it is. I tend to believe that Academic says a lot of things at the discretion, at the green light of Drake. Okay, I tend to believe that way because of how how Academics positions himself. Remember, we just saw the tweet that said, hey, the boy said it's fake. Okay, the boy said it's fake. So I tend to think that the boy's probably confirmed a lot of this stuff. I don't think any of that helps with these allegations that have been haunting him during the Shakespearean shakedown. I do not. I said this before. I think I'd want to leave 2024 and 2024 if I was Drake. If I was Drake, that's exactly what I would want to do. And this is doing the opposite. It's doing the opposite. Two, I just think it's kind of a lame way to handle something like that. You know, Drake is a part of the Toronto Raptors organization in one way or the other. I don't think LeBron has a problem with Drake rooting for a team that's not his. I personally don't. I've never seen LeBron get aggy over Drake cheering on the Raptors. They won a title in the past few years. I don't see that either. And I also don't see this breaking in Drake nor Academic's favor. LeBron is beloved. And nor do I think that it's very realistic to think LeBron, who has been with his wife since high school, who is a global superstar billionaire, travels the world all the time. I don't think it's a reach to say that him and Savannah have a close enough relationship to be honest about the situation. I don't think that's a reach. I think maybe the issue is embarrassing him, and that's what this looks like. But now there's a pattern of Drake trying to break up people's families, talking about people's wives and girlfriends all the time. Where is that respectable? Like, I don't think any of this looks the way that, you know, the energy Academics, the confidence and the energy and the justifications Academics is kicking on live right now would lead one to believe. Okay. And then at the same time, it's almost as if Drake looks at people as they can only be friends with him. If you take Fighting Irish Freestyle, which is essentially a breakup song, we used to be friends until you started dancing with the ops. Well, Kendrick has been friends with him for a long time. LeBron James is the one that got us Untitled or Mastered. Take a look at this. Shout out to Dwan B. Dwan B posted this. Kendrick Lamar dropped a new album Thursday night, Untitled Unmastered, and it is out. LeBron James, as Extra Mustard chronicled earlier, has been lobbying for this to drop. Last week, LeBron tweeted at the CEO of Top Dog Entertainment asking the record label to officially release Kendrick Lamar's untitled tracks. Lamar, who raps for TDE, has been performing unreleased songs to critical acclaim during some recent television performances. The songs are known as Untitled 1, Untitled 2, and Untitled 3. They've been friends too. Now, I get it. It would hurt. But dropping Fighting Irish Freestyle, to me, if I'm Blake Griffith, the timing of him leaking that DM, he probably saw what the conversation was around LeBron. Like, whenever that conversation took place with Blake Griffith, he leaked it around that same time. That song has talking about siblings, and now people are looking for, you know, Drake's alleged daughter again. It's all that stems from Meet the Grams. LeBron, keep the family away. All this is connected to Meet the Grams, and Academics is out here saying, yeah, they've done dozens of switches, and Drake facilitated the women. This, I don't know what they're doing over there. I think that they need some quality control around the conversations that are coming out of Drake's camp, because all of this is adding fuel to a fire that, again, if I was Drake, I would want to leave in 2024. Okay. All of this is really crazy. Now, the hearing itself, Drake was supposed to have a hearing with UMG today, actually, January 13th. That hearing has been rescheduled to January 28th, and the extension was requested by Drake's team. I'm not sure if these two things are connected. Hopefully they're not, but Drake did talk about this lawsuit. He did talk about these legal filings in those DMs that leaked. So now we look to January 28th to see what happens with that. But this tweet here really, I think, captures how I feel about this situation. We're talking about Drake and LeBron James. And here's the mind of HY. Here's what he said. LeBron is one of the most beloved people in the culture. Drake so desperately wants to be loved by again. The amount of philanthropy, entertainment, and excellence LeBron has given people for 20 plus years with zero scandals. No matter how many hits he has dropped, Americans will never love Drake more than they love LeBron. And even if it's true LeBron cheated, people will forgive LeBron if they even care. But they will never forgive Drake for exposing him. I don't know what's happening in OVO. I don't know what's happening with any of the people around Drake, but Fighting Irish Freestyle has led to 3 more head-scratching side missions in this Shakespearean shakedown that's still ongoing. And if I'm Drake's lawyers, I'm telling Drake to tighten up. Let me know what you think about all this, because all this looks nuts to me. I was sat on this for a week, basically, to get an idea of what's happening, and it broke 3 different directions. We'll see what happens this week. My name is Justin Hunt. Like, subscribe to the channel, follow at The Company Man on everything. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views us radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, dog. You don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.